Join us as we dive deep into the fascinating world of historic photographs, unraveling the stories behind the lens, one frame at a time. This is history like you've never seen before. Stay tuned. Before starting this video, if you are a true history lover, you can support me by joining the channel membership and sending a super thanks. Please support me and make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. This historical photograph captures a glimpse of Seattle in the 1870s, showcasing a small but growing frontier town surrounded by dense forests. The image reveals a collection of simple wooden houses with pitched roofs, scattered across an uneven landscape with visible tree stumps, indicating ongoing land clearing for development. This historical photograph features the Muse brothers, African-American siblings with albinism who were kidnapped as children in the early 20th century and forced into the circus industry. Their striking appearance, including unique facial features and twisted dreadlocks, made them a spectacle in sideshows, where they were falsely marketed as exotic or non-human oddities. Taken from their family, they endured years of exploitation and mistreatment, performing under various fabricated identities. This vibrant Kodachrome photograph captures a slice of everyday life in America during the 1940s, showcasing a small-town street with vintage automobiles, classic storefronts, and locals going about their daily routines. The architecture, featuring brick buildings with large display windows and awnings, reflects the era's typical commercial district. A Coca-Cola sign hangs above Fisher's Cafe, advertising hot fish and home-cooked meals, hinting at the community's simple yet charming lifestyle. This historic photograph captures Charles Lindbergh standing beside his iconic aircraft, the Spirit of St. Louis, shortly before or after his groundbreaking solo non-stop transatlantic flight in 1927. Lindbergh, a young and determined aviator, made history by flying from New York to Paris, covering approximately 3,600 miles in 33.5 hours. This image showcases the original appearances of some of the most popular fast food chains on the day they first opened. On the left, Arby's features its iconic cowboy hat sign, advertising its roast beef sandwiches. In the center, the first In-N-Out Burger location highlights its simple yet revolutionary drive-through system with a sign promising no delay and menu prices that reflect a bygone era. This iconic photograph, taken in 1932 during the construction of the RCA building, now known as 30 Rockefeller Plaza, in New York City, captures 11 ironworkers casually eating lunch while sitting on a steel beam high above the city. The image, often mistaken as a candid moment, was actually staged to promote the skyscraper's construction. This striking Kodachrome photograph captures a bustling street scene in Manhattan during the early 1940s, offering a rare and vivid glimpse into a bygone era. The street is lined with classic automobiles, pedestrians in period-appropriate attire, and brick buildings adorned with fire escapes and vintage signage. A prominent banner reading "United We Stand" hangs overhead, reflecting the patriotic sentiment of World War II America. This historic photograph captures the moment when a hidden Soviet listening device, known as The Thing, was discovered inside a carved wooden replica of the Great Seal of the United States. The seal had been gifted to the U.S. ambassador to the Soviet Union in 1945 by Soviet schoolchildren as a gesture of goodwill, but it secretly housed an advanced, passive listening device that required no power source and could be activated remotely. For nearly 7 years, it remained undetected in the ambassador's Moscow residence, allowing Soviet intelligence to eavesdrop on sensitive conversations. The device was eventually discovered in 1952 by U.S. security experts, marking a significant Cold War espionage revelation.
In this particular image, the central theme revolves around the bond between a mother and her children, a subject that has universal emotional depth. The 1920s in Spain were a period of social and economic transition, and Arissa's work often reflected the daily struggles and tenderness of ordinary people. Through his lens, the mother symbolizes care, warmth, and resilience, while the children represent innocence, hope, and dependency. In this image, 2 Apsaroke Native Americans on horseback, outside of a teepee in a snow-covered forest in Montana, 1908 captures a powerful glimpse of the Crow Nation's traditional lifestyle amidst a harsh winter landscape. The Apsaroke, known for their skilled horsemanship and warrior culture, were a Plains tribe deeply connected to nature and their nomadic way of life. By 1908, the Crow people were facing significant cultural shifts due to U.S. government policies. Yet this image stands as a timeless testament to their heritage, strength, and harmony with the natural world. In this image, Barcelona 1955 by Ramon Massats captures a snapshot of life in mid-20th century Spain, highlighting the city's culture, character, and atmosphere during a period of social and political transformation. Ramon Massats, known for his documentary-style photography, often focused on everyday moments with a sense of realism and artistry. In 1955, Barcelona was emerging from the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War, and Massats' work frequently reflected both the resilience and spirit of its people. Besides, this picture captures a dramatic and poignant moment in early 20th century Amsterdam, a city known for its iconic canals. Horses were vital for transportation and labor at the time, often pulling carts through the city's narrow, water-lined streets. The photograph likely shows a group of people working together with urgency and care to save the struggling animal from the cold, treacherous waters, a scene that reflects both the close relationship between humans and horses and the spirit of community effort. In this image, in the 23rd of August 1965, captures a historic moment in the final days of Britain's declining rural railway lines. Nailsworth, a small town in Gloucestershire, was connected by the Stroud to Nailsworth Railway, and by the mid-1960s, many of these local train services were being phased out due to the beaching cuts, which restructured and reduced Britain's rail network. The date, the 23rd of August 1965, likely marks one of the last journeys of this train, making the image a poignant reminder of a changing era in British transportation. In this image, Gabriel Lakajian captures a rare and breathtaking celestial event set against one of the world's most iconic ancient landmarks. Gabriel Lakajian, a prominent Armenian-Egyptian photographer known for documenting Egypt's cultural and historical heritage, masterfully combines the timeless grandeur of the Great Pyramids of Giza with the awe-inspiring solar eclipse. The August 30th, 1905 eclipse was a significant astronomical event, and placing this moment alongside the pyramid symbols of ancient knowledge and mystery creates a striking contrast between human history and the vastness of the cosmos. In this image, the future Queen Elizabeth II, being carried up the steps of Balmoral Castle in 1927, captures a tender and historically significant moment from the early life of Queen Elizabeth II, who would later become the longest reigning monarch in British history. At the time, Elizabeth was just a year old, born in 1926, and not yet the heir apparent. Her uncle, Edward VIII, was still first in line to the throne. Balmoral Castle, the royal family's Scottish residence, was a beloved retreat known for its grandeur and natural beauty. In this image, a wooden roller coaster in Edinburgh, Scotland, in 1900 offers a fascinating glimpse into early amusement park culture at the dawn of the 20th century. At this time, wooden roller coasters were a relatively new and thrilling innovation, bringing excitement and novelty to public entertainment. Edinburgh, known for its rich history and cultural landmarks, likely hosted this ride at one of its early fairgrounds or amusement parks. The wooden structure, built with intricate craftsmanship, reflects the engineering of the period, a time when rides were both simple and daring. In this image, Dorothea Lange captures a tender yet powerful moment of everyday life in post-war America. Dorothea Lange, known for her poignant documentary photography, often focused on themes of family, struggle, and resilience. In this 1952 photograph, set against the vibrant and evolving backdrop of San Francisco, the bond between mother and child takes center stage, symbolizing warmth, care, and the quiet strength of parenthood. In this image, battery-powered scooter from 1918 captures an early example of electric vehicle innovation, long before modern electric scooters became popular. At a time when automobiles were still gaining traction and electric power was in its early experimental stages for transportation, This battery-powered scooter represented a forward-thinking approach to personal mobility. Built with a simple yet functional design, it likely featured a heavy battery, basic controls, and a frame suited for short urban commutes. The year 1918, right after World War I, was a period of technological experimentation and growth, making this scooter a reflection of society's eagerness to explore new, efficient modes of transport. This image serves as a fascinating reminder of how early electric mobility ideas paved the way for the advanced electric vehicles we see today. This picture refers to a historical photograph taken by Sir Aurel Stein in the 1930s. It captures the Roman Bridge in Mosul, Iraq, known for its ancient architectural style. The bridge reflects the influence of Roman engineering, though similar structures existed in the Middle East. This picture refers to a historical photograph capturing the iconic Tower Bridge during its construction phase in 1889. Located over the River Thames, Tower Bridge is one of London's most famous landmarks. Known for its unique combination of bascule, drawbridge, and suspension bridge design. The construction, which began in 1886 and was completed in 1894, involved advanced engineering techniques of that era. This image likely shows the steel framework and architectural details taking shape before the bridge's completion. It stands as a visual testament to London's industrial and architectural progress in the late 19th century. This picture refers to a photograph taken by renowned French photographer and filmmaker Raymond Depardon in 1980. This image captures Glasgow, a major city in Scotland, known for its rich industrial history and cultural significance. During this period, Glasgow was undergoing social and economic changes, often reflected in the city's urban landscape and daily life. This picture captures a moment of everyday life in the vibrant and bustling Times Square in New York City. Taken in 1982, this image likely shows a boy enjoying ice cream, offering a candid glimpse of urban life in one of the city's most iconic locations. Times Square, known for its bright lights, billboards, and diverse crowds, was going through a period of transformation in the early 80s. This photo reflects a simple, relatable pleasure against the backdrop of a fast-paced, ever-changing metropolis. It captures both the charm of an ordinary activity and the energy of New York City in that era. This photo by Elio Ciol refers to a heartfelt photograph taken by Elio Ciol, a renowned Italian photographer known for his black and white imagery. Captured in 1962, this photo likely depicts a tender or symbolic moment between a father and his son, reflecting themes of family, tradition, and connection. This photograph, taken by Henry Hamilton Bennett, a celebrated American photographer known for capturing the beauty of the Wisconsin Dells. Taken between 1890 and 1895, the image likely shows canoeists navigating through a boat cave, highlighting the region's unique rock formations and natural scenery. The Wisconsin Dells is famous for its sandstone cliffs, caves, and waterways, making it a popular destination for exploration and adventure. In 1971, Chicago's Tri-Taylor neighborhood stood as a living time capsule, capturing a moment of transition, resilience, and community in the heart of the city. These rare photos reveal a neighborhood shaped by generations of immigrants, where historic brick buildings lined the streets, families gathered on stoops, and local businesses thrived. But beneath the surface, change was coming. Urban renewal projects, shifting demographics, and economic struggles would soon redefine the area. In 1948, Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts, was a hub of ambition, intellect, and evolving opportunities for women in a post-war world. These vintage photos take us inside the daily lives of female students, immersed in their studies, enjoying campus traditions, and shaping their futures in a time when higher education for women was still gaining ground. From bustling dorm rooms filled with books and laughter to elegant social gatherings and outdoor class discussions, these images capture an era when young women were redefining their roles in society. NASA's golden era was a time of unparalleled ambition, scientific breakthroughs, and historic achievements that pushed humanity beyond the limits of Earth. These rare photos take us back to the glory days of space exploration, when astronauts became heroes, engineers worked tirelessly to achieve the impossible, and the world watched in awe as humans set foot on the moon. From the tense moments inside Mission Control to the breathtaking images of spacewalks and lunar landings, this was an era defined by courage, curiosity, and innovation. But what made this period so special? How did NASA overcome the immense challenges of space travel? Comment: step back in time to the 1870s, when New York City was a rapidly growing metropolis, bustling with horse-drawn carriages, towering brownstones, and the early signs of modernization. These rare photographs, some of the oldest ever captured, offer a fascinating glimpse into a city on the brink of transformation, long before skyscrapers and electric lights defined its skyline. From cobblestone streets to crowded markets and elegant Victorian fashion, these images reveal a world both familiar and foreign. High above the streets of New York City, on the 107th floor of the North Tower of the World Trade Center, Windows on the World was more than just a restaurant. It was an experience. These incredible vintage photos take us back to a time when diners enjoyed breathtaking panoramic views of the city skyline while savoring gourmet meals in an atmosphere of elegance and exclusivity. From candlelit tables overlooking the Hudson River to lavish banquets attended by the world's elite, Windows on the World was a symbol of sophistication and ambition. But beyond its glamour, this iconic restaurant also carried deep cultural significance, hosting countless celebrations, business deals, and unforgettable moments. During World War II, deep in the hills of Tennessee, a secret city was built, Oak Ridge, the hidden powerhouse of the Manhattan Project. These rare photos take us inside this once classified location, where thousands of workers unknowingly contributed to one of the most world-changing scientific breakthroughs, the development of the atomic bomb. Guarded by secrecy, Oak Ridge was a city unlike any other, with high security fences, restricted access, and a workforce that lived and worked without fully understanding the magnitude of their mission. Step into the 1940s, a time when teenage fashion was a perfect blend of elegance, practicality, and charm. These rare photos capture what young girls wore during an era shaped by World War II and post-war optimism: high-waisted skirts, neatly tucked blouses, and the ever-iconic saddle shoes that became a schoolyard staple. From casual sweaters and plaid skirts to stylish dresses worn to dances and social events, teen fashion in the 40s reflected both the constraints of wartime rationing and the growing influence of Hollywood glamour. The 1970s were a defining era for Harlem, a neighborhood filled with culture, resilience, and a deep sense of identity. Through the lens of photographer Jack Garofalo, we get a rare and intimate glimpse into the soul of this iconic community. His images capture the everyday lives of Harlem's residents, from children playing in the streets to stylish men and women exuding confidence and pride. These photos tell the story of a neighborhood facing economic struggles yet thriving with creativity, music, and an unbreakable spirit. Before he became the 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama was just a young boy growing up in Hawaii and Indonesia, shaped by a unique and diverse upbringing. These rare and heartwarming photos take us back to the 1960s and 1970s, capturing moments of his childhood, playing on the beach, spending time with his mother and grandparents, and showing early glimpses of the bright, thoughtful leader he would become. From his school days to family gatherings, these images provide a touching look at the formative years of a future world leader. Step aboard the Sunset Limited, one of the most iconic trains of the Southern Pacific Railroad, and travel back to the 1950s, an era when train journeys were elegant, comfortable, and filled with adventure. These rare photos capture the golden age of rail travel, where passengers dined in luxurious dining cars, relaxed in plush seating, and watched the scenic landscapes of the American Southwest roll by. From businessmen in tailored suits to families embarking on cross-country adventures, the Sunset Limited represented the height of travel sophistication. Step into the bedrooms of 1980s teenagers, where personality, music, and pop culture ruled every inch of the space. These rare photos capture a time when walls were covered in band posters, cassette tapes, and vinyl records stacked the shelves, and neon colors, funky patterns, and DIY decorations reflected the spirit of the era. From Madonna and Michael Jackson to the Smiths and Guns N' Roses, music shaped teenage identity, and their rooms became shrines to their favorite artists. Amidst boomboxes, arcade game posters, and classic movie memorabilia, these bedrooms tell the story of a generation growing up in a time of cultural revolution. The 1980s AIDS crisis was a devastating chapter in history, marked by fear, loss, and resilience. As the disease spread rapidly, hospitals filled with patients facing not only a deadly illness, but also isolation and stigma. These heartbreaking images capture the harsh reality: emaciated bodies, grieving families, and medical staff struggling against an unknown enemy. During the Great Depression, a time of mass unemployment and economic despair, one photograph captured the desperation and resilience of an era. The image of an unemployed worker with a social security number tattooed on his arm. This haunting photo, one of the most striking of the period, raises powerful questions. In the 1980s, before earphones and personal music devices took over, the streets of New York City were alive with the booming sounds of hip-hop, funk, and rock, blasting from massive boomboxes carried on shoulders and park benches. These vintage photos capture the height of the boombox craze, when music wasn't just something you listened to. It was something you shared with the world. From breakdancers in the Bronx to teenagers hanging out on stoops, the boombox was more than just a gadget. It was a symbol of culture, rebellion, and identity. In 1964, renowned American artist Norman Rockwell painted "The Problem We All Live With," a powerful image that captured a defining moment in the civil rights movement. The painting depicts 6-year-old Ruby Bridges, an African-American girl walking to school, flanked by U.S. Marshals as she bravely integrates an all-white elementary school in New Orleans. But beyond its striking composition, this artwork tells a deeper story of courage, racism, and the fight for equality in America. In 1947, at Highland Park High School, teenage girls posed for portraits that captured the grace, innocence, and style of post-war America. These lovely images offer a rare glimpse into a time when fashion was modest, yet elegant, with soft curls, classic dresses, and radiant smiles defining the era. But beyond their outward beauty, these portraits tell a deeper story, one of youthful dreams, changing societal roles, and the optimism that followed World War II. At the dawn of the 20th century, New York City was rapidly expanding, and one engineering marvel would forever change its landscape: the Queensboro Bridge. From its earliest blueprints to its towering steel framework, this breathtaking structure symbolized progress, innovation, and the unyielding ambition of a growing metropolis. These rare images take us back to the bridge's construction, capturing the laborers who risked their lives high above the East River, the intricate web of steel and stone coming together, and the moment this iconic span finally connected Manhattan to Queens in 1909. In the world of woodworking and craftsmanship, few artifacts are as legendary as the Studley tool chest, a breathtaking masterpiece from the 19th century, meticulously designed to hold over 300 tools in a perfectly organized, compact space. Created by master piano maker Henry O. Studley, this extraordinary chest is more than just a toolbox. It's a work of art, blending functionality with intricate design, inlays, and precision engineering. In 1893, Chicago hosted one of the most spectacular events in history, the World's Columbian Exposition, a grand celebration of innovation, culture, and architectural brilliance. Known as the White City for its stunning neoclassical buildings, the fair introduced millions to groundbreaking inventions, dazzling exhibits, and the first ever Ferris wheel. But beyond the grandeur, these rare photos capture a deeper story: the sheer scale of human ambition, the people who walked its streets, and the fleeting beauty of a city built to impress before being lost to time. Maxwell Street Market was once the heart and soul of Chicago's immigrant and working-class communities, a vibrant open-air market where cultures blended, deals were made, and the sounds of blues music filled the air. These vintage photos take us back to a time when vendors lined the streets, selling everything from fresh produce to secondhand goods, and the market pulsed with life. But beyond the bargains and street food, Maxwell Street was a place of resilience, a hub for Chicago's early blues scene, and a symbol of the American dream for countless immigrants.
This image showcases 3 historical mugshots of individuals from the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time when crime and law enforcement were evolving in the American West. The man on the left, with his neatly groomed mustache and prison stripes, appears confident despite his incarceration. The central figure, with his disheveled hair and piercing stare, has the hardened look of a career outlaw. The woman on the right, wearing a Nebraska penitentiary tag, represents the rare but significant presence of female criminals during this era. These faces reflect the rugged and often lawless spirit of the time, where outlaws, sheriffs, and justice clashed on the frontier. This charming vintage photograph captures a joyful moment in what appears to be a small amusement park or fairground setting from the early to mid-20th century. A group of men, women, and children are gathered around a compact, manually operated carousel with a striped canopy, laughing and enjoying the ride. The women's light-colored dresses, the men's formal suits, and the children's classic attire reflect the fashion trends of the time. The cheerful expressions and casual interaction among the group highlight a time of simple pleasures and community bonding, offering a glimpse into the everyday leisure activities of a bygone era. This photograph showcases a carefully packaged Apollo-era space meal, similar to the food consumed by astronauts aboard Apollo 8 during their historic 1968 mission to the moon. The vacuum-sealed pouches contain various items such as sugar-coated cornflakes, orange drink, sausage patties, peaches, toasted bread cubes, chewing gum, and a wash-up kit, demonstrating NASA's meticulous planning for space nutrition. While Apollo 8 astronauts received a surprise Christmas dinner of turkey and gravy, their daily meals primarily consisted of dehydrated and freeze-dried foods designed for easy rehydration and consumption in microgravity. This image highlights the innovative advancements in space food technology that supported astronauts on long-duration missions. This haunting photograph captures the devastating impact of the mass extermination of American bison in the 19th century. It shows an enormous pile of bison skulls, with a man standing beside it, illustrating the scale of destruction. During this period, commercial hunters, encouraged by U.S. government policies, slaughtered millions of bison, leading to the near extinction of the species. The systematic killing of these animals was not only driven by demand for their hides and bones, but also served as a strategy to weaken Native American tribes that relied on bison for survival. This image stands as a grim reminder of human exploitation and the consequences of unchecked destruction of natural resources. This photograph captures the essence of a classic Old West saloon, a central hub of social life in 19th century frontier towns. The image showcases a well-stocked bar with an elegantly dressed bartender, flanked by 2 rugged cowboys, one of whom holds a cigar while the other leans confidently on the counter. The ornate decor, complete with framed portraits, a mirror adorned with garlands, and a variety of liquor bottles, reflects the lively yet gritty atmosphere of these establishments. Saloons like this were places where cowboys, outlaws, and lawmen gathered to drink, gamble, and exchange stories, embodying the untamed spirit of the Wild West. This striking image showcases 3 Native Americans adorned in traditional attire, offering a vivid glimpse into the rich cultural heritage of indigenous tribes from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Each individual wears unique clothing, jewelry, and headdresses that symbolize their tribal identity, status, and traditions. The use of color enhances the depth of their intricate beadwork, feathered accessories, and woven garments, bringing history to life in a way that black and white photographs often fail to capture. These portraits serve as a testament to the resilience, pride, and beauty of Native American cultures during a time of great change and upheaval. This photograph captures a striking scene from the devastating blizzard of 1978, which buried the northeastern United States under record-breaking snowfall. The image shows a residential street completely engulfed in snow, with towering snowbanks lining the cleared paths where people carefully navigate through the aftermath. This photograph captures a mesmerizing snowy night in New York City's Times Square during the early to mid-20th century. The streets are covered in a thick layer of snow, with parked cars lining the roads and a few vehicles cautiously making their way through the wintry scene. Illuminated billboards and neon signs, including advertisements for Coca-Cola, Camel cigarettes, and the Palace Theater, glow brightly against the dark sky. This striking collection of portrait photographs captures the faces of young soldiers from the American Civil War, showcasing the determination and intensity of those who fought on both sides of the conflict. Each image reflects the personal stories of these men, their uniforms and weaponry offering a glimpse into the era's military life. This captivating collection of photographs showcases the elegance and charm of the early Miss America beauty pageants, reflecting the evolution of style, fashion, and cultural ideals over the decades. The first image features a regal beauty queen adorned in a dazzling crown and luxurious gown, embodying the grandeur of the competition's early years. The central photograph captures another winner in a flowing white gown with her sash and tiara, radiating confidence and poise on stage. The final image, taken by the seaside, highlights the natural beauty and grace of a contestant in a classic swimsuit, symbolizing the changing trends and expectations of the competition. This haunting set of photographs depicts the grim history of the whipping post, a cruel method of corporal punishment once used in various parts of the world. The first image shows a restrained individual bound to a post, symbolizing the harsh realities of physical punishment in past justice systems. The middle photograph captures a moment where a man is being positioned at a post, possibly demonstrating or reenacting its use, highlighting the inhumane treatment inflicted on those subjected to this form of discipline. The final image presents an isolated whipping post in an outdoor setting, standing as a stark reminder of a dark chapter in punitive history. If you enjoyed this historical journey, don't forget to like and share the video so that others can also experience these priceless glimpses of the past. And yes, to discover more fascinating stories related to history, make sure to subscribe to our channel. You can also support me by joining the channel membership and sending a super thanks. Please support me.